our first interview will be Mr. Old Man Ricky, who's a historian professor at the University of Retard. So, Mr. Old Man Ricky, I understand you're a historian professor, and how long exactly have you been studying history?
Pretty long time.
And so I'm assuming you're pretty knowledgeable on public education in the industrial age. You okay there? Paramedic, we got a dead man right here. Dead man. Save him.
He's dead.
So here we are today with Mr. Ricky Reitler, whose father just passed away on the show, unfortunately. I'm sorry for the loss of your father.
As you can see, I'm crushed.
So anyways, I hear you followed your father's footsteps and became a historian professor also.
Yes, I teach at the South Harmon Institute of Teaching, which I consider to be a better school than the one my father taught at.
You see the little brat. Does he know about this?
Well, he's dead soon.
Good point. So how well are you on the subject of public education in the industrial age in England?
I consider myself an expert.
You can see the little brat. You gonna be like this all night?
I make no guarantees.
Sound like me and my wife. So here's a few questions for you about it. What was the basic requirement for children in school?
Well, the basic requirements for children in school consisted of reading, writing, and arithmetic. The children were also taught punctuality, disciplined work habits, and patriotism to their country. In fact, by 1881, children in England had to attend school.
Okay, so be loyal to your country while you're learning. Makes sense. It sounds like nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So how did education change at the elementary level?
Well, it began to change when more kids began to attend school due to the Industrial Revolution. Because of this rise in attendance, the teachers began to attend school to become more knowledgeable in their subjects.
Okay, so teachers became smart. That's good. I'm hoping my kids' teachers are
Yes.
smart enough. So how did education change at high school level?
Well, it began to change at the high school level when they began to teach the classical languages, such as Latin and Greek. Along with that, history and mathematics.
Okay, so that's good. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show today, and I really appreciate everything you shared with us. So, thank you, and I hope to keep in touch with you and learn some more stuff from you. So, give a round of applause for Mr. Ricky Reitler over here, and that was good stuff that he gave. Our next interview today is Mr. Nicholas Tran, who's a student at UCI, California currently. So let's welcome Nick out and make him feel special. We'll give him a little confetti.
Thank you, Douglas.
So, Nick, I understand you are working on becoming some sort of teacher or professor in history. So what are you going for, your master's, bachelor?
No, I'm going for my PhD, actually.
Oh, PhD, go big or go home?
Yep, you know it.
Okay, it's the only way to go, isn't it, nowadays in this economy?
Yep.
So how well is your knowledge about the public school system in the industrial age?
Well, why don't you tell me and test me out?
Okay, sounds good. So a few questions for you. Who could afford to send their children to school and who couldn't?
Well, really, it's just the higher class and the middle class would most likely be able to send their kids to higher level of education, while the lower class may only be able to stay at the lower elementary, maybe that level-ish.
Yeah. So mainly the upper class and the middle class could afford to send their kids to school, and then the working class was a little lucky.
Yeah, it's mostly about what jobs they had and
So like
how much time.
the bourgeoisie class maybe could send their kids to school.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. But it wouldn't be the high school, just the elementary level schools?
Really, the elementary school level would be for everybody, and then after that, for high schools and stuff, that's a whole other story.
Okay, so describe the curriculum at colleges and universities, and then who usually attended and who didn't.
Well, the curriculum composed of mostly philosophy, ancient history, language.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I was saying that the curriculum comprised mostly of ancient history, language, philosophy, law, and religion. And then later in the 1800s, they even added in sciences, which comprised of chemistry and physics.
Okay, so they didn't have everything we have nowadays.
No, but they were pretty close.
Just enough to get those kids educated.
Yep.
Become almost entrepreneurs or something.
Yeah.
So how has education changed throughout the years, and how has it stayed the same?
Well, for one, women have a lot more of an opportunity now. Before, they only had select chances of education, and there are a few colleges for women, but most of the colleges that they accepted were for the future. Now, see, because of that, it was never going to be for like the entrepreneurship, just for their own work for the future.
Yeah.
Now, also, obviously, we are more educated now. At least I hope so. And
So
then-
do I.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be getting a PhD for nothing.
Yeah.
But back to subjects. Yes, and they would actually be much more complicated as it is now because we have many variety of subjects. And also, like, for example, majors and minors in colleges. Before then, they would just focus mainly on, like, the overall subjects.
Mhm.
But now, we are, like, focused on, like, the main thing just for our future. While
Okay.
they were just trying to get an education.
Okay. So how does it stay the same, basically?
Well, really, they are still we still have to learn the basics of education. Which,
General ed.
yeah, general ed.
Okay.
The GE classes, you know, and then so because of that, we'll learn like the ancient language, ancient history, languages, and law, depending on whatever one we really focus on.
Mhm.
But we're still learning most of the subjects, anyways, like chemistry and physics as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, it seems like you're pretty educated on stuff, and you don't seem to have a hard time knowing that, understanding all that at all.
Thank you.
So, I do thank you for coming out here today, and
Well,
I hope to have you back on the show sometime soon, and when we have more questions about ancient history type stuff. So let's give a round of applause for Mr. Nicholas Tran, and I wish you luck at going with your PhD.
Thank you, fellas. I'll be here anytime.
All right.